Good afternoon, everyone. Now, I'm sure all of you have noticed online that a lot of people are talking about why are these people allowed to be in this canopy? Why isn't this marked off and taped off as a crime scene? And why is this guy in the white shirt taking the most very important camera down? What you think is the most very important camera there? Why is he taking it down? Well, here's why. Because it's not a crime scene. A crime didn't take place here, and that's not a camera. Now, before I tell you what it is, I want you to get a real good look at it as he's taking it down. Anybody figure out what it is yet? Okay, here's what it is. It's called a hologram projector. And if you don't believe me, you can go look them up online. And they're not cheap. They're not cheap. Usually 20 to 60, 70, $80,000 for these things, and they come in different varieties. Now, Hollywood calls them hologram stage projectors. Now, you see how Charlie's little tent there is a perfect square? And as you can tell, it's 10 foot squared, 10 foot all the way around on each square, and it's about 9 foot tall. That's because it has to be for the projection to work. Now, let's explain.
For smaller spaces, the projectors can be configured with mirrors to elongate the projection path and maintain picture integrity. Eyeliner displays ideally require a minimum footprint of 10 feet square and a height of 9 feet to show full-size human figures. What you are seeing is a reflected image which is so true and realistic to the original, it has become known as a virtual image. Many people perceive what they are seeing now as a 3D hologram. In fact, it is a 21st century take on a mid-19th century visual effect known as Pepper's Ghost, showing now on the relay screens. Thanks in part to the amazing optical properties of the eyeliner foil, combined with the light and picture output of Christie Digital high-definition projectors, the image has depth and opacity that actually supersedes the scale and definition of traditional 3D hologram.
Like I said before, 10 foot squared, 9 foot tall. This canopy was made this size for a purpose because it is a hologram stage projection that you guys were watching.
These performers are holograms.
Every series, we take one step closer to achieving all of the sci-fi dreams.
It's pretty cool. You'll never have to miss a gig again. The gig can come to you.
We traveled to Paris to meet Ian O'Connell, director of the company that put this show on.
I recall we were being asked to produce a show from London to Florida where the interaction between the musicians and the audience would be as natural as two people being in the same room. And for all of us, it was an experience that we'll never forget.
So how did they beam this band in live?
It's incredible that this really is a remote live gig. The signal from London takes less than 1/3 of a second to go all the way around the world and be projected as a hologram on the stage in the US. As well as the hologram making it feel like the band are actually in the room with the audience, the band can see the audience and actually interact and respond to what they're doing.
This is a whole new take on live music. But how are the images so good that it looks like the band are really on stage?
They look so lifelike because of the angle of the light and the reflective material called mylar that creates this holographic effect.
The mylar screen is semi-transparent. The reflective surface reflects the images where the light falls on it, but where the light doesn't fall on it, the audience can see through it. So it looks like there's a person standing on the stage and that there's no screen at all.
The projector receives the video signal and projects it down from the ceiling.
What I really love about this is that you get the effect of a 3D hologram without those stupid glasses.
I still believe we've only scratched the surface with this technology. I think we will see pop-up holograms everywhere.
That's it, the holograms are here. We're officially in the future.
It's all smoke and mirrors. The world is a stage, people. Get over it. You've been lied to. Now, I know a lot of you are going to say, well, Terry, if it was a hologram, how was he walking around passing out hats and talking to people? Because he was walking around passing out hats and talking to people. Only the assassination was a hologram. Here's what you're forgetting. You're forgetting about the trap door right by his feet underneath that little canopy there.
Boss, this is the place he got shot.
This is the courtyard where it all happened. It's now open to the public again. There's lots of people coming here, planting flowers, cards, things like that. The university is already making some changes. They're replacing the grass where Charlie Kirk was speaking with pavers. And there are several petitions online asking the school to make this into a permanent memorial for Charlie Kirk.
You see, the trap door is the whole key. Yes, Charlie was passing out hats. Yes, Charlie was there. But when it was time for the hologram to come on, this is when Charlie went down into this little utility room or whatever this is underneath this trap door, the stage area where he was sitting. Okay, the assassination took place with the hologram. And then if you notice, all the guys, when he supposedly falls to the ground, all the security guys surround him. You can't see nothing. They raise the trap door up. He comes out. And then they carry him to an SUV, not an ambulance, not anything like it would normally be, to the SUV without a trail of blood anywhere, because he never got shot. He was down in there the whole time. The hologram part of the assassination was taking place. It's really, really simple. It's complicated, but it's simple if you think about it common sensely. That's how Charlie was able to interact with the people there, because he could hear what they were saying and he could answer them and interact with them, just like the musicians from London to Florida.
It's incredible that this really is a remote live gig. The signal from London takes less than a third of a second to go all the way around the world and be projected as a hologram on the stage in the US. As well as the hologram making it feel like the band are actually in the room with the audience, the band can see the audience and actually interact and respond to what they're doing.
That raises up right here. It's real skinny. It looks exactly like his arm. What is that? What is that? And why are these three guys just standing there like there's no emotion on their face? They all have sunglasses.
Might be using holographic technology with this entire Charlie Kirk situation, all meant to traumatize the masses. Let me know what you think about this. This sounds wild, but the technology is out there.
You're going to get the ability to kind of put holograms in the world. I think in the not too distant future, this should be blended together, right? You'll have like the physical world, but all this digital stuff should just basically be holograms. In the future, we'll have AI coworkers. Those people won't even, they're not even people. They wouldn't be able to be embodied. So if you're having a physical meeting, you're sitting around with a bunch of people, they couldn't show up as like, you know, part of the team no matter what. But I think like we'll get to a point where just like your friend can show up in a hologram, and like your AI colleagues will be able to also. But in the future, we're like not that many years away from being able to have a virtual meeting where like, you know, it's like I'm not here physically, it's just my hologram. Yeah. And like it just feels like we're there and we're physically present. We're thinking about how few of the things that we physically have in the world actually need to be physical.
So with that context in mind, take a look at this.
So the first thing I want you to notice is there's this dot right here on Charlie's shirt, and it literally jumps up to the neck. Let's watch that again. Okay, so here's that weird, interesting dot. And then it just moves over on his shirt and then up, okay? First thing, now I want you to watch the F on his shirt. It disappears into thin air and then reappears again. Watch it very carefully here. Gone. Back. The third thing is the hair. Watch it glitch out here. One more time, watch closely here. Okay. Okay.
Look at the ring on his ring finger. When he was shot, it ends up on his pinky finger. Watch the ring on his finger. It moves from his middle finger down to his pinky. His middle finger down to his pinky. AI.
Now in these next clips, take a look at the date. 8-year-old videos talking about holograms. And remember, Tupac did a hologram concert back in 2011, so 14 years ago.
These performers are holograms.
Every series, we take one step closer to achieving all of the sci-fi dreams that I've ever dreamed of.
It's pretty cool. You'll never have to miss a gig again. The gig can come to you.
Where the interaction between the musicians and the audience would be as natural as two people being in the same room.
It's incredible that this really is a remote live gig. The signal from London takes less than a third of a second to go all the way around the world and be projected as a hologram on the stage in the US. As well as the hologram making it feel like the band are actually in the room with the audience, the band can see.
While stationed at an underground installation near Boulder, Colorado, I was introduced to Project Skybeam by Lieutenant General Andrew Garris. I was then led down a corridor and into a large hangar, where a stealth bomber hovered only 20 feet above me. I stood there confused. Then Garris looked over at me and smiled, then asked if I was certain of what I was seeing. I replied, of course. What else could it be? I was then shocked to find out that this wasn't a real craft. It was a projected hologram. Since the early 1950s, scientists have been developing holographic technology, and over the years improved it to a state that we can only imagine. As I stood there staring at the bomber, which looked so absolutely real and solid that I could reach up and touch it, I contemplated the possibilities. What if this projection was 1,000 feet up in the sky? How would anyone know that that was an illusion? The Phoenix Lights craft, witnessed by 10,000 people, was the first grand-scale skybeam test upon the public. It succeeded beyond expectations. In October 1938, Orson Welles unleashed his War of the Worlds radio broadcast to the American public. It was so realistically portrayed, vast portions of the population went into panic. Terrified citizens scrambled to evacuate their cities in droves. America had been easily tricked by very simple means. To amplify this response, those who are truly in power, not only our country, but all the countries on the planet, and who are the true purveyors of the depopulation process, have formulated the final stage of their sinister plan. In the year 2024, a global event will alter the course of mankind's future. The world will stand witness to a massive alien invasion. Thousands of projected holographic alien warships will blanket the skies, sending people into a global panic. Real military crafts within the holograms will inflict actual damage to the surrounding areas to sell the gimmick. And as a result of the ensuing human chaos, a one-world government will immediately form without any resistance from the people. They will be the new world order. Once this happens, we as a people will be doomed to enslavement and accelerated depopulation. With that said, the only hope for human salvation is to acquire and spread the knowledge of these activities and agendas. Resist, retaliate, then conquer this imposing enemy. The time is now, as humanity is rapidly approaching its final days.
Now, brother, we have the watch.
Some holding plays, you can create an identity. It's much easier to have a shared identity. And do you allow them free somewhere, or do they go to what we call Valhalla, some holding place that's not able to be in communication with the rest of the world, but as a community, and then you can bring them out later on.
Rest now, brother. We have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla. Rest now, brother. We have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla. Rest now, brother. We have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla. Rest now, brother. We have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla.
Follow after me. Gonna do the two-step, then and cowboy boogie. Grab a sweetheart and spin out with him. Do the hold down and get into it. Take it to the left now and dip with it. Gon' throw down, take a sip with it. Now lean back, put your hips in it.
When you hide,
that Charlie Kirk's killer was caught by police exactly 33 hours after the shooting.
Last night, the suspect was taken into custody at 10 p.m. local time. In less than 36 hours, 33 to be precise.
And the shooting that happened in New York in July, the killer went to the 33rd floor. And in the shooting in Chicago in July, 33 people were killed. In March, a Los Angeles gang shooting left 33 total victims, and in April, a Phoenix block party shooting wounded 33. In June, a school shooting in Houston involved a shooter firing 33 rounds from a semi-automatic pistol. And 33 is the highest degree of honor for Freemasons, conferred to select members for exceptional service or contributions to the fraternity. It's just odd that all of these shootings somehow have the number 33 tied to them, but I'm sure it's just a big coincidence. As always, I want to hear what you think about all of this down below. What?
Oh, it's fine. I think that bringing people to Catholicism is fine. Of course, great, terrific.
All you numerology nerds, this one is for you, because the Charlie Kirk death, it's absolutely dripping with numbers, symbols, and ritual. Hey, look at these numbers right here. But let's start the video. Okay, so first we have got the big headline that has just been released that they're telling us that they solved the case of the murder of Charlie Kirk within 33 hours. Not 32, not 34, but exactly 33, and we know that this is the elite's favourite number, their secret signature. Every time we see the 33 stamped on a world event or a headline, you're not just watching justice, you're watching choreography. Now let's jump back to the image that we started with, the one that has been blasted all around the world. You know, ever since this disaster, this is the image that went on every newspaper. 47, 47, 47. Well, 4 plus 7 is 11. 11, 11, 11 is 33. Right there, this is not random. This is encoded. Now, his t-shirt says freedom, right? Well, look at this. What a surprise. In numerology, freedom literally adds up to 66. That is literally the main number of symbolism that is printed across his chest. Whilst the public sees freedom, the code literally says ritual. Now check this, the timing, the story, it literally broke across the 9-9 portal. It carried through to 9-10 and it was wrapped up by 9-11. This is a triple ritual. In numerology, 9-9 is completion, 9-10 is transition, and 9-11 is destruction and rebirth. We all know 9/11 changed the world, and they're still playing that number like a drumbeat. All right, all you new
deep connections to Jeffrey Epstein, Donald Trump, and the State of Israel. The supposed grieving wife and mother is going to be taking over Turning Point USA. So here's some facts about her that I think the public has a right to know and that nobody else is reporting on. Around 2009 to 2010, even though Erica had never modeled before or participated in a beauty pageant, she received an invitation in the mail to participate in the Miss USA beauty pageants, which were owned by Donald Trump. In 2012, she won the Miss Arizona competition, and at the same time, according to her website, she was also a casting director at the same time she was modeling for Trump. In 2006, she started a ministry when she was just 17 years old. This ministry was working with the U.S. military in Romania at the same time she claimed to be working as a casting director. The area in Romania where Erica was operating her ministry out of had a ton of locals accusing these evangelical ministries of kidnapping children and trafficking them out of the country. These children were being found in Israel, the UK, and undisclosed private islands. The locals demanded that the authorities look into this, and shocker, they never did, but her ministry was kicked out of Romania. In 2018, 2 years after Donald Trump started working with Charlie Kirk, Erica and Charlie were introduced to one another after one of their mutual friends suggested that Charlie should hire her to work for Turning Point. So at Erica's job interview with Charlie, Erica allegedly said, "You're not going to be my boss. You're going to be my boyfriend." So they began dating. I think it's safe to assume that this mutual friend was Donald Trump, because Erica was already one of his employees, so it would make sense for his team to encourage this. Beauty pageants are a well-known gateway for human trafficking, so with her being a casting director, her ministry working with the military in Romania and being asked to leave, along with her very strange behavior of capitalizing on the death of her husband, I think this should be of immense concern to us all. Random people do not get propped up by the mainstream media out of nowhere. That includes Charlie Kirk, whose father had deep connections to Donald Trump even before he started working with Charlie Kirk. All of these people that you see on TV run in the same circles, and anybody with ties to human trafficking should not be trusted. So comment below and let me know, did you know about her ties to Trump and the beauty pageants and this ministry that she operated in Romania? Let's chat about this. Erica
Kirk was directly under Charlie Kirk. I don't think it means anything, though. Do you? People say this trapdoor was directly under Charlie Kirk. I don't think it means anything, though. Do you? People say this trapdoor was directly under Charlie Kirk. I don't think it means anything, though. Do you?
There was a movie in 1998 called Snake Eyes with Nicolas Cage. I'm pretty sure some of you guys have seen this. In the movie, they're at a boxing match. A politician is assassinated in the movie, and his name is Charles Kirkland. Okay, think about Charlie Kirk. This is very, very weird. Okay, he was shot on the left side of his neck. The film takes place on September 10th. Rob, that's the
date of the fight. This is what we were talking about yesterday.
This is what we were talking about yesterday. Rob, that's the poster. And then the boxer who's in on the plan, who's doing a diversion, he wakes up on the ring. His name is Tyler, like Tyler Robinson, and he's called the Executioner. Okay, Jesus. Weird. And then the tropical storm that hits in the film is called Hurricane Jezebel. And for some of you guys that saw Megan Kelly just did a piece. That's the name of the online magazine that allegedly hired witches in August to put a hex on Charlie. And the film, parts of the film were filmed at the Trump Taj Mahal and Hotel Casino, and the secret camera which films the assassination, but the videographer doesn't let anyone know. And guess what the tagline is of the movie? Believe everything except your eyes.
Charlie Kirk's father, Robert Willard Kirk. He is the president of an architectural firm that once listed the Trump Tower in New York City among its projects. This professional link places the Kirk family's connection to Donald Trump decades before Charlie Kirk became a conservative activist and a staunch public ally of President Trump. Trump Tower is a gleaming glass skyscraper in the heart of Manhattan that once held the title of the tallest all-glass structure in New York City. When Charlie announced that he wanted to skip college to start a political organization, his parents Robert and Catherine Kirk were skeptical. They worried their son was giving up stability for uncertainty. Charlie pleaded for a chance to prove them wrong, asking his parents for just 90 days to launch his idea. From their suburban home in Chicago in 2012, at just 18 years old, Charlie founded Turning Point USA, a youth-oriented conservative movement that would soon become a powerhouse on college campuses nationwide. Interestingly, it was Charlie's father, Robert Willard Kirk, who suggested the name Turning Point USA.